What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Wladimir Klitschko. Wladimir Klitschko was rescued by the Coast Guard after his luxury yacht fire in Spain. You know, he and his family escaped with, no bodily injuries. They were fortunate they had a responsible Coast Guard and captain on the boat of the yacht. And they did their job to keep the fire down, while they escape. And Klitschko had this to say on his Twitter page. He said, "Be careful what you wish for. Fate took my wish for some adrenaline a bit too literally, and our boat trip Sunday night ended up in our boat igniting and fire and friends being evacuated by Coast Guard and the fire rescue team. No worries, we are all fine." Hashtag the roof is on fire song. Klitschko, what this means, first of all, I'm glad they're all right, him and his family. You wouldn't want anything tragic to happen to anyone, overall, okay? And Klitschko was asking for some adrenaline. He was asking for some excitement. And what this tells me, he's saying you better be careful what you wish for. If this should tell me anything about Klitschko, he should come back to the sport of boxing. I think he has the one last chapter to prove to all the fight fans. I think of Klitschko being one of the great heavyweights, one of the great older fighters, that I believe he still has 2 or 3 good performances in him, because it's just innate in him. It's something that he has to prove. I think the adrenaline he's looking for is not a fucking fire on a yacht. It's to get back into the ring, to reharness the fire that he had inside the ring. And this is something that tells me that this is a reminder that life is short. And while he's, taking trips on yachts and shit like that, which is great. That's what you're supposed to do when you're a millionaire and you have the type of money, you've made the right business decisions, but you still have a passion. Okay, and that passion will burn, and you don't want that fire to burn out without showing your true light. And the true light for him is to get back into the ring. When was the last time he was in the ring? 2017, right? He's rumored to come back. He was rumored to come back for X amount of dollars on DAZN. Now, I think that the heavyweight division is very unique. If you could say anything about Klitschko on the night he fought, the last thing in your mind, or the last thing that you could say about Wladimir Klitschko, was that he looked old. You couldn't say that about Klitschko at all. He made the best account of himself at that present moment. And he decided to retire, besides go in there with the younger guy. The question would be, and I know the question would burn in his mind, and he probably thinks about this maybe daily. What would have happened if I would have went back to fight Joshua again? What would have been the outcome? Would it be another knockout from Joshua? Or would it be me learning what I did the first fight, correcting that, and taking the young lion out? What would it be? And I think those type of questions haunt his mind. There haven't been rumors for nothing, people, And his offer, I think, Klitschko is the guy that is very much needed in the heavyweight division. Maybe he may be replaced by Usyk. Maybe it's Usyk's turn to do a Klitschko reign, right? From the Ukraine. But maybe he has some couple fights left. Deontay Wilder, of course, calls him out, right? He never got the rematch with Tyson Fury, right? Then there's Joshua out there with the rematch that he should have done or had, possibly. There's a lot of just things that's unanswered in his career, and I think his chapter is like, okay, fought with Anthony Joshua, got knocked out in round 11, ... and it ends there. And I think those dots represent something that should have been there in place of those dots. You know? Because it's a lot of misadventure there to me. If you ask me, Wladimir Klitschko should have at least got one of the rematches. You know, Joshua, Fury, or at least fought Wilder. Now, we all know that he's fought Tyson Fury and he's fought Joshua, and he came up short twice. If I would fight any fight, if I'm Klitschko, I would go for the WBC. Because that's a fighter that he hasn't been in the ring with. It makes perfectly good sense. You know, a guy that he's sparred with, a guy that's vowed is reigning king for the last 4 years in the WBC. Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder, hits like a damn bazooka. Claims to be the baddest man on the planet. Also said that Klitschko needs to build himself up. Basically saying he's washed up. Right? That's more incentive than anything. To me. You know, but I know a person's health is at stake. I know it's been a while since he's been in the ring, but I think there's a lot of things that he needs to prove to himself, and that's one of them. If you don't want to go for a rematch, go after the fighter that you've never fought, that you've dropped many times in sparring, right? An equivalent, that's Tyson Fury fighting Jarrell Miller, because he's supposed to put Miller down 7 times, right? And that's a rumor, which Jarrell Miller's not really, claiming it's not true. He said it's not true, but he's not putting a lot of believability behind it. But we do know that Wilder was knocked out of sparring with Klitschko. So, that would be it. Look, it's already a story already written. The backstory's written, people. I think he should go after Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder, for the WBC. Right? And who knows what that kind of fight will happen. 2 tall guys like that. Klitschko knows him. He knows his habits. He knows how he fights. He knows the awkwardness. He knows what to do. You could argue that Wilder was younger and more inexperienced. That's the question we would need to see if that fight ever gets made, people. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Klitschko and this Yacht fire, about my counterpunch, about his career. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunched. Peace.